Northgate, under Coach Dan Swan, has a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, and great defense. John Grigsby is number 10. We saw him last week.
Well, Yoshioka kind of really epitomizes that defense, and he's also a threat to score as well.
Gary Irwin is number 15. Jarrett Tung is number 23 for Northgate, and rounding out the starting five, and the biggest guy on the court tonight is number 24, Tony Bataska, who, despite his size, has a very nice touch from inside the perimeter.
Yes, he does, and I think he ignited the team last week in their win over Deer Valley. He was the one that's consistently hit from the outside or within the perimeter, just around that area, and he did an excellent job on the other side of the ball defensively.
It's now time for the national anthem. As we wait on the national anthem here, Tim, and we'll cut away to it as soon as it starts, one thing I'd like to mention is that Northgate and Pittsburg, with identical 10-6 overall records, 7-1 in league for Pitt, 6-2 for Northgate. Here's the national anthem. Stunning recording of the national anthem here at Northgate High School tonight. The Corral, the home of the Broncos, a good crowd on hand to see a battle between two of the best teams in the BVAL and probably the two best teams besides De La Salle.
I agree with that, and you know, you talk about the crowd. When's the last time you saw this gymnasium empty? This gymnasium always attracts a large following, and deservedly so. You know, Northgate has a rich tradition.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, looking up on that wall, they were the Division III state basketball championships in '94-95. That team led by Frank Alaco, and his son Frank Alaco was one of the best coached and well-prepared teams I've ever seen in high school basketball, and I've been following it for a long time here.
And you can see some of Alaco's thumbprints on this Northgate team here tonight. You know, they run a very similar style of defense, which is attacking. They like to hit from the outside, which they did last week, as we saw against Deer Valley. And the intensity is there. And Alaco demanded nothing less, and Dan Swan has really brought that into the new millennium, shall we say.
Refs for tonight's game, Wayne Hervog and Tony Ghisaletti, as we get ready to play ball here. Number 32 for Pittsburgh is James Adams, jumping center against Tony Bataska. 8-minute quarters, as always, in high school basketball, and the first meeting of the season between Pitt and Northgate is underway. Hervey Malone, as Northgate comes out in its very tight man defense. Avion Burks to James Moore. James Moore, the point guard for the Pirates. Of course, Jelani Williams, as the ball's turned over there off of Burks' hands.
Well, you don't want to start turning it over against Northgate. Northgate's a very opportunistic team. Deer Valley had turnover problems last week. We saw a close ball game suddenly turn into a rout because of turnovers.
And both teams pretty much had their way with Deer Valley. Northgate beat them last week by 13, Pittsburgh by 20 on Tuesday night as Pataska hits a 15-foot jump shot to get Northgate on the board 2-0.
And there's that outside attack we were talking about.
Pataska was kind of another turnover, and Pittsburgh looks a little bit confused here early. Pataska last year was a little bit of a sleeping giant, did not have the kind of look to him that's kind of smooth operator underneath, but this year he's got his jump shot working, and it looks like he's actually become a much better player.
Well, in that regard, he's reminiscent of a guy that named Jim Croy that played here several years ago. Big guy, was not that impressive early on, but got better and better as his years progressed in high school.
Now, Bataska, that looked more like last year's Bataska as the ball. And as you can see here, James Moore gets an early exit, and number 4 into the game is Arturo Garcia, who I believe also played some football for Pittsburgh this year. Avion Burks was a wide receiver and a big player there. That's Jelani Williams, and that's who Northgate will have to stop, and they can't let that happen if they're going to have success in this game, as Williams ties it at 2.
And Pittsburgh has to stay that aggressive if they want to keep pace. They have to drive. They have to make things happen. They can't just sit back and watch Northgate shoot the lights out.
Foul on Garcia, his first. The Pirates first, as Derek Dominic Kelly is the new head coach here at Pittsburgh, and I had an opportunity to talk to him. Very nice guy. Very young guy, 28 years old, you know, coming in and taking over for Curtis Atkinson, who had this program for a number of years at Pittsburgh. That's Jarrett Tung for 3. It's long. The rebound is tipped out of bounds by Malone, but must have came back off Bataska.
Well,
yeah, the ref made a correction there, and that's the right call. Malone tipped it out of bounds, so it's Northgate's ball inside. 6:32 left here to go, so in the first minute 30, only 2 baskets scored by these two teams who do play tough defense.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's going to have to tighten it up a little. On the one that Tung missed, he was wide open.
Pittsburgh also playing man, and I'll tell you, you don't see a lot of zone defense much anymore.
No, you sure don't, but I think maybe that has something to do with the quickness of the athletes of today.
Bataska drives inside. Nice move. Oh, rejected by Jelani Williams, who had 4 blocks against Deer Valley the other night. This is Malone, up and down, but he got the ball, was tipped, and he scores.
He did an excellent job of staying with it, Dan. I mean, that could have easily been a give-up play. The ball gets knocked loose, but he stayed with it and put it back up for 2.
As I mentioned earlier, our first broadcast from this side of the hill in Walnut Creek. We'll also have another game later in the year with Deer Valley, as Malone makes the steal, puts it up, and it's out of bounds. That's one of those ones where you're trying to get something in, and just as you do, something else happens, and before you know it, you've pretty much screwed the whole thing up.
Well, Hervey Malone is showing a lot of intensity, and, you know, I hope it starts to catch fire for the other Pirates. I mean, not that I'm taking sides, but I want to see both teams come out and play intense basketball.
That ball is dribbled off of Bataska's foot, but since there was no intent there, it is allowed to remain in Northgate's possession. Jarrett Tung open again from 3-point, and that one's long again. Rebound to James Moore, who's back in the game after sitting down for a minute.
Well, the Pirates better hope that Tung doesn't heat up, because he is wide open on those baseline corner shots.
Williams missed a 3. Number 32, James Adams, with the rebound on the putback. He's fouled, and I believe that's the first foul on Bataska, and it is. So it's 4-2 Pittsburgh early.
Well, we saw last week when Bataska went out, Deer Valley made a little bit of a run to get back into the game, but by then it was so lopsided, it was a case of too little too late.
This is an interesting gym, as you can see by looking at the floor. It's not a hardwood floor. It's kind of a multi-purpose surface. I remember playing on this gym 23 years ago, which is really scary. And
watching you play?
No, actually, at that time I could play, but you really hear the ball. The ball, it's a funny dribble off of this, and outside shooting, as I've always noticed in this gym, is kind of strange. I think that's one of the reasons why Northgate, who gets to practice in here, has an advantage, because they learn the rim. You know, as Tung gets a 10-footer, and there's the tie. Tung with his first basket at 4-4.
Of course, the home crowd support doesn't hurt either. Probably all these fans were going to go to the Rolling Stones concert tonight, but since it got canceled, they had something better to do.
I doubt if anyone in that section could afford Rolling Stones tickets yet, unless they might have went to Mommy and Daddy, but
I doubt if you and me combined could afford Rolling Stone tickets.
Well, actually, I was there Monday night, and I'm going next Saturday night if Mick gets over the flu.
Rub it in, rub it in.
The foul on that play was by Bataska, and that, something had to have been called there. It was either a foul or traveling. Unfortunately for Northgate, unfortunately for Pittsburgh, it's on Bataska. That's number 32 once again, Adams. That ball's tipped around and out of bounds. Northgate retains possession. Same thing last week. Bataska was in foul trouble early. I think in this game, if they can get him on the bench, it will be to a great advantage of Pittsburgh, who has a great inside game. Deer Valley didn't.
Yeah, really, Bataska might be the one guy that they need to kind of stand in the way of somebody driving to the hoop, and you're absolutely right, Dan. Bataska goes out. That's just the kind of opening that Pittsburgh needs.
Pittsburgh playing good defense, but they are leaving that perimeter open underneath to Bataska, though. A nice pass.
Well, that whole sequence, there was a lot of nice passes. They started from the top of the key, worked it down to the perimeter, and worked it inside. It was an excellent job by Northgate. Again, that's a trademark, I think, of Alaco. That's what you saw a lot when Alaco was here.
Jelani Williams. Oh, that's an amazing shot there. Williams on the right side of the basket with a left-hand shot, 15-footer. He's fouled, and it goes.
Yeah, they counted it.
First foul on number 10, John Grigsby. Jelani Williams is tied it. He has 4 points, and I have a feeling here tonight it's going to be the battle of Bataska on one side and Jelani Williams on the other for Pittsburgh.
Well, I think Northgate's also finding out they're going to have to account for Hervey Malone, who's made a couple of key steals early in the game.
6-6, 4:10 to go here in the first quarter. Dan Wall and Tim Tyler on Friday night basketball here on TCI. Bataska, 15-footer, rolls around and in. Tony Bataska with 6.
Well, when you're hot, Dan. I mean, when things are going right, you get the things that roll in. When you're ice cold, those shots just roll off the rim and fall harmlessly to the court.
That's a travel on Moore.
Well, again, another turnover, so to speak. And you know, that's one thing. If Pittsburgh's going to stay in this and build a momentum or go on any kind of a run, they have to stay away from mistakes.
Gary Irwin, the ball worked to his side of the court for the first time. Yoshioka from downtown Walnut Creek, and he hits.
Yeah, and he was wide open, too, on the perimeter.
Yoshioka has that outside touch. He had a couple of threes in the game last week we called from Deer Valley. Oh, and a steal by Bataska. And Bataska, let's see if he can slam. Nah, he doesn't go for it.
Well, that was just careless passing. That was careless passing on Pittsburgh's part.
13-6. Northgate with 7 straight points. Bataska has 8. And Pittsburgh needs to score a basket to get back into this game. Adams rolls around and out. Adams with the board. Long. Avion Burks. Putback good. Avion Burks with his first basket of the night. 13-8.
We'll give Pittsburgh credit for the job they're doing on second efforts. Every time they make a second effort, it usually goes in. And they're going to have to maintain. And here's a steal. Oh, a foul.
And I guess Jelani Williams just had a monster game. And that's an intentional foul. 2 shots in possession. The foul is called, and we'll get back. That was on Irwin. So Jelani Williams will shoot, but I guess Irwin had a monster game against Deer Valley. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, and at least 3 breakaway dunks. So we'd like to see that kind of activity here later tonight so we can show you loyal viewers. And later, a little later, we'll also mention a couple of the other games we have. And what we've tried to do is keep kind of like the same teams playing, so we get to know some teams. So because it is hard, you know, when Tim Tyler and I have about 5 minutes of preparation time for these broadcasts.
Well, consider this is only the second game I've seen all year, and I almost hate to admit this on live TV, but it is.
Williams hits both free throws. So Pittsburgh now, with a basket, gets right back into the game after falling behind by 7. But in a week, we'll be at Antioch to see De La Salle against Antioch, and that's more so you can see De La Salle, not necessarily so you can see De La Salle probably pummel Antioch.
I was going to say, that's so you can see De La Salle just rip Antioch to shreds.
But you know what? I have a feeling, though, and I've seen it before. Sometimes when you get beat by 65 points the first time, you really play hard the second time. And as a travel there on Malone. And
well, that's true, because the team that got trounced by 65 points wants to come out with a lot more intensity, and then the other team that won by 65 points has a tendency to come out complacent.
Right, and that game will be played at Antioch, and they give us an opportunity to see De La Salle. It's one of the first times we could bring them to you. 2:30 left here in the first quarter. That's Grigsby into the game for the first time.
Well, I'm sure some of these Northgate fans will want to see De La Salle, too.
Nice block there.
The fact that Frank Alaco is now coaching the team.
Williams with a running one-hand flip that goes. Jelani Williams looks like one of those players that just about no matter what he does, it's going to look pretty good. He looks pretty good doing it. 13-12. I had mentioned that someone was in the game for the first time. Actually, it is number 33, Jason Johnson, the super sub for Pittsburgh. Also, Garcia's back in the game.
Well, Pittsburgh has a chance to take the lead here, Dan, and that would be a great way to, if they could somehow hold on to the lead at the end of the first quarter, but it doesn't go on that shot.
Jason Johnson along with the jumper, Irwin with the rebound. We're under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Yoshioka with a 3.
Looked like the Pirate defense got sucked all the way in and left Yoshioka out there all by himself.
16-12 Northgate. One thing you can say about either of these two teams, they're not going to run the 35-second clock down.
That's true.
Malone's a sophomore, by the way, just to let you know, as Jelani Williams and there's another senior starter, Avion Burks, excuse me, as Jelani Williams. Oh, Williams way up in the air on that rebound. Thought he was fouled on the attempted return, but didn't go.
It looked from here he was fouled, but he didn't get the call. And that would have been Bataska's second foul.
It would have been his third.
Third, I'm sorry.
And so maybe that was a makeup for the last one, which was kind of ticky-tack. So the referee kind of evening things out now. 54 seconds to go here in the first quarter, as you can see on our wonderful Ron Carter standard clock as the ball goes back to Pittsburgh. Number 33 for Northgate is Tynan Davis, who we saw a little bit of last week, and also Matt Koski, and there is Matt Koski. So Koski and Davis, usually the first two off the bench for Northgate, they're in now for Tung and Irwin.
Koski had a good game last week as well against Deer Valley. You know, this is a chance now where the Pirates will want to try to score here and then obviously force a turnover and go on a 4-0 run here in the final seconds.
And now Northgate has fallen into a 2-3 zone. And that's the rim I remember here at Northgate. Jelani Williams puts one that almost dropped into the basket. It rattled around and came back out.
Well, that shot took about 10 seconds off the clock as it hung up there forever. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's live TV. I like to exaggerate.
They're used to that, so. 16-12. Northgate can almost hold the ball here for the remainder of the first period. Koski watched by Malone. Pittsburgh still in a man. Garcia high on Yoshioka.
He's going to need a little help on the baseline.
Pick and roll. Bataska. Williams nearly fouled him, but Bataska scores. That's 10 points in the first quarter for Tony Bataska.
They're going to have to get a quick shot off.
That shot would have counted if it went. It doesn't. So at the end of the first quarter of play, the score is Northgate 18, Pittsburgh 12. Tim?
Well, again, I think the turnovers hurt the Pirates in that first quarter. Not a whole bunch of turnovers, but every time they did make a mistake, Northgate capitalized. I also thought on that last sequence, the Pirates were a little lazy on defense. It seemed like they had the position down underneath on the hoop. He didn't get any help either on defense, and Northgate easily converted that into 2 points. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but I'll tell you what, if this game comes down to the wire, you might remember a basket here and there. And I thought that was a lazy effort on Pittsburgh. They got to play swarming defense. They can't allow Northgate to get any easy baskets.
Just to recap the scoring, Bataska with 10, and only 2 other players for Northgate scored. Yoshioka with 2 3-pointers for 6, and 2 points for Jarrett Tung. For Pittsburgh, Jelani Williams with 8, and only 2 other Pirates scored. Avion Burks with a basket, and Hervey Malone. So it's 18-12. Possession in the second quarter goes to Northgate because Pittsburgh won the opening tip, and if you remember, turned the ball over on its first 2 possessions. Let's look for any substitutions out there. No, actually, James Moore is back in the game for Pittsburgh, replacing Garcia, and Northgate with the same players that they left the floor with at the end of the first quarter. Yoshioka, he'll shoot that as long as he doesn't see Kirker pass in his sights. Well, and he hits another.
That was set up extremely well. They had a guy slide into the back, down low, and then Yoshioka just popped back out and put it up.
Inside to Malone. That ball's taken away by Tynan Davis.
Again, Dan, I didn't see a lot of intensity on the Pittsburgh side. I saw a lot of guys standing around looking at the loose ball. They're not going to be able to do that against Northgate if they expect to stay in this game.
One thing Northgate is intense. As Yoshioka is fouled, hits a layup, and I'll tell you, Pittsburgh's in danger of letting this one slip away early.
Well, they can't let their guard down, and now what you were getting into, too, is a foul like that. They try to get a body in the way, then they get called for a foul. So now you start thinking mentally, well, do I get in there and draw fouls, and which is almost like making a mistake, or do I back off and hope that he misses? I mean, you get caught into a period of indecisiveness.
And Jason Johnson with his first foul in the game. Only 6 fouls in the entire game so far as Pittsburgh wants a 20-second timeout. Yoshioka with 12 points. He's already scored 6 in 36 seconds here in the second quarter. It is now 24-12. Northgate having doubled up the score on the Pirates.
Well, obviously that's not the way Pittsburgh wanted to start this quarter. And this is reminiscent of the Deer Valley game last week when Deer Valley was right with Northgate and for most of the first quarter and beyond. And then all of a sudden, toward the before the half ended, Northgate Northgate went on a big explosive run and really distanced themselves from the, from the opposition.
Well, one thing, like I had mentioned, you don't have to worry about from Northgate is a lack of intensity. They play a very, very hard physical game, good defensive game. And you're right, Pittsburgh's going to have to jump on some loose balls and dive around on the floor and get a little bit dirty if they have any anticipation of coming back in this game.
Yeah, you can't just put one hand up while a guy's driving, and you can't just stand around when there's a loose ball on the floor if Northgate is playing on the other side of the ball. You've got to go after it.
It looks like a 2-3, could even be called a 2-2-1 as Bataska hangs low to the basket in this zone. Oh, but a nice play underneath by Jason Johnson, and that was rejected. Johnson with the rebound, though. Excuse me, that's James Adams.
James Adams, correct. And again, a good follow-up by Pittsburgh. They're doing okay on the follow-up sequences. Well, that time they weren't going to let him take the shot there, uncontested. They got a man right out in front of him. And I bet you that's what the coach said to him on the timeout. Hey, let's start flying around there. Let's get some bodies flying on that court and be active.
Matt Koski dribbles up at the top of the lane to Bataska. Bataska, that's not in his range. But that is Bataska, 10-footer. That ball's blocked, that time by Adams. He gets the rebound, though, puts it up long. Tip by Tynan Davis. Still a foul now. No shot there, no basket, but a foul. And that's on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh now with just 3 team fouls as number 25 for Northgate. P.J. Wong is in the game for number 10, John Grigsby. And that Wong spelled H-U-A-N-G.
I believe, and I don't know this for sure, but I think he had a sister, Rachel Hong, spelled the same way, an outstanding volleyball player here a couple years ago.
Oh, and here we go. Here's Jelani, and, oh, hello. There's the slam we've heard about. Jelani Williams flying through the air, and with Michael Jordan out of the game, that's about as close as you're going to get to that kind of stuff.
Well, Northgate fans will let them have that as long as they maintain an 8-point lead.
Oh, and Jason Johnson went above the rim to get that rebound. It's 24-16. Pittsburgh needs a couple to get back in the game here. Here's Jelani Williams, double team, kicks it out to Avion Burks underneath. James Adams, and he's fouled. I think that's Bataska's third. If that's on Tony Bataska, it's his third foul. It is. And I just want to confirm that on the scoreboard up there.
Well, as we said, if Bataska can leave this game early, that would go a long way in helping Pittsburgh to get back in this ballgame. But you saw in that last sequence, Dan, this type of swarming defense we talked about from Northgate. Granted, it resulted in a foul, but there were 3 defenders, 3 defenders all over James Adams in the middle of the key there.
I think they're going to do something stupid and actually take a picture of us. Oh, no, they're actually taking pictures of cute girls in the stands. I like that. That's a lot better. There's no reason to shoot us unless you have a gun. But anyway, 24-16, 5:53 to go here in the second quarter. Northgate called that timeout. Now, that looks like they actually called that foul on Yoshioka because that's what's listed on the scoreboard, and that would be good because you do not want Bataska to pick up that third foul this early into the second quarter.
Well, that would be good if you're a Northgate fan, and that's bad if you're a Pittsburgh fan. And we're neutral, right?
Absolutely.
Well, here we got a little bit of push-up action going on the sidelines there from the Northgate cheering section.
James Adams has missed both free throws that he's taken very badly. Actually, he's missed 3.
Had 6 guys dressed up as referees doing push-ups on the sideline there.
Adams makes the second, 24-17. Now Pittsburgh comes out in a 1-2-2 full-court press and a foul. I think that's on Williams. It's actually on Avion Burks. His second personal, 5th Pirate team foul. So Pittsburgh in an attempt to try to loosen up the grip that Northgate has on getting the ball over and running their offense as Koski pulls up and throws up a 3-pointer. It's no good. Bataska with the rebound, the follow, and the basket. Tony Bataska with 12 points.
And that guy is so valuable no matter where he is, out on the perimeter, down low. There's not a whole lot of answers on how to keep that guy out of the box.
One thing I see that could be a problem with Pittsburgh's offense, and this isn't a knock on Williams because it looks like that's the way it's ran, but pretty much everything goes through him.
I think you're right. It becomes very one-dimensional.
And sometimes inside you see Adams coming out of the game for Jason Johnson. They'll look inside if there's an opening, but now that Pittsburgh is Northgate has went into this 2-3 zone, they're almost forcing Pittsburgh to look to the outside shot, and we haven't seen a lot of outside shooting ability out of this team. That's Jason Johnson. That's short. Vataska the rebound.
Well, to further your point about Jelani being the only scorer, Hervey Malone is actually 4 points behind him for the season. But I think you're right. I don't think Hervey is one of their intended go-to guys.
Jelani Williams with the foul, as you can see Coach Dominic Kelly telling the ref not to guess, and it did look like he guessed on that, as it didn't look like particularly like a foul, as we don't have any replay to show you tonight. Inbounds to Yoshioka, 15-foot pull-up, good.
He has such a nice touch.
I don't think he's missed a shot. He has 14 points. 28-17.
Well, when you can get a big guy like Pataska knocking him down and a small guy like Yoshioka knocking him down, that's a lethal combination.
Inside to Jason Johnson. Turnaround's good. Jason Johnson with his first basket of the night pulls Pittsburgh back within 9.
Seems like Pittsburgh's trying to work the ball a lot in the middle on this team, and they're trying to get some baskets right in the middle of the key.
Here's a turnover. Moore. Oh, he traveled. He traveled. They didn't call it. He got fouled. I was attempting to get you the name of the player that is checked in. Actually, James Moore had the ball. Number 12 is in the game. Jason McGee. There are way too many Jasons and James and Jelanis on this team.
Too many J's. The J factor.
Every time you look at a kid, you go, oh, that's James or Jelani or Jason. So.
And then you got two Jack, you know what, in the calling the game for you. Ron was ready to press the censor button there. I like to scare Ron every now and again.
Yeah, well, Ron is actually on camera tonight, Ron Carter. We'll give you the names of the rest of the crew here in a minute.
Well, again, Moore going up for that last shot, which is what put him on the line. He again tried to take it through the middle. Again, it looks like I guess they think on film that Northgate has a soft spot in the middle. I don't think they have a soft spot anywhere.
Well, that's something to do, though, when they go to that zone, especially the way they're playing it. They're playing the 2-2, and that middle two are coming high out on the wings, and it's leaving an opening with Vataska to defend as Vataska gets his shot rejected by number 33, Jason Johnson, and out of bounds. So Pittsburgh is pulled within 8, and if they could score a couple of hoops here as they force Northgate into a couple turnovers, they might have a shot here.
And Dan, you're right about that on the way they set up in the zone defense, Northgate that is, but on the other hand, they're so quick. They're able to recover so quickly, even if it's to the middle or to the outside.
They've now pulled Vataska up to play in the middle, which is a good move because oh my. Well, Jason Johnson didn't know what to do with that ball, but fortunately for Pittsburgh, he threw it at the basket and went in.
They probably put Vataska in the middle because they noticed the same thing we did, that Pittsburgh's attacking there.
Tynan Davis's shot is blocked, and here comes Pittsburgh just down by 6. They could use a couple of threes, but I haven't seen anything out of them that indicates a heavy three-point influence on this offense is number 12. And I think that for some reason they're upset about that, and I thought the ball was knocked out of number 12 for Pittsburgh, Jason McGee's hands, but it's turned over to the Broncos.
If we see a three-pointer thrown up, it'll most likely come out of the hands of Hervey Malone. He's their leading three-point scorer on the year. 19 of them.
Vataska throws the ball away. That's 3 straight turnovers for Northgate. James Moore turns the ball over as he was trying to go behind his back, and a back-checking hockey influence Northgate defender tipped the ball away. So it's 28-22 with 3:13 to go in a game that is in spurts, kind of like the game last week. You know, it was even. Northgate pulled out to a lead. Pittsburgh's come back, but now sloppy play is kind of just taken over. And this one, you'd think that two teams that are this good would play a little bit better at this stage in the season.
Well, you'd think that, but, you know, everybody has an off night, and sometimes mistakes get contagious in one game. One team starts to make mistakes, it even rubs off on the other team. I've even seen it happen to just good teams, you know, where a normally sound team, all it takes is, take football, for example, a fumble by one of your star players, and then everybody else starts making mistakes. The linemen jump off sides. It starts to feed on itself. And speaking of feed, I'm hungry.
I am too. We need Ron Carter to make a donut run or something at halftime. Pittsburgh, ever since Pittsburgh's went to this full court press, though, they have been able to force some things. And there's another block, even though it was a nice pass underneath. Jelani Williams coming back for the block. Pittsburgh, once again, now they look for Williams. Williams has the range for the 3. Short. tipped by Jason Johnson, and Yoshioka pulls the rebound.
Well, Moore did an excellent job that time. After the turnovers, he pulled out of trouble and then passed it across the court. They just didn't convert.
Pittsburgh falling back into the man defense when they come into that half-court set.
And they're going to try to get it to Bataska if possible.
Or Yoshioka, who has been on fire here, and in both games we've seen. Underneath the Bataska, overplayed. Oh, and another rejection by Jelani Williams. He has 3 blocks tonight. Yoshioka throws up a runner that's long, and finally Pittsburgh gets the rebound. That's Avion Burks.
It almost looked like Yoshioka got fouled on that. I thought I saw a slap on the wrist there as he let go.
And as you mentioned, as there is a foul called on 25 Wong, Herbie Malone is getting ready to check back into the game for the Pirates, who they need some outside presence here. They haven't hit an outside shot in this game, and almost everything has come within the perimeter. And
they've only attempted about 2 shots. You know, you're really good at that. You have this photographic memory. Is that right? Have they attempted about 2 shots, or I'm sure you
no, they've attempted a couple more from the outside. Yeah. I think Williams has thrown up a couple, and someone else I remember had an air ball on a long shot, but Pittsburgh does not have that kind of range. There's that rim again. Number 12, Jason McGee, hits his first free throw, and that thing bounced about 7 feet in the air after it hit the rim.
Well, he had to will that one in. And he really needs to make this, cut it to 4 points with a little over 2 minutes to go. Be a big boost for Pittsburgh.
And he does, and it's 28-24 as he comes out, Herbie Malone back in. Incidentally, folks, as we kind of talk about this throughout the broadcast, but we'll be at Pittsburgh 4 weeks from tonight to bring you the Pittsburgh-Northgate game from Pittsburgh. To show you both sides of that, which could very well be for second place in the BVAL at that time.
Wait, are you saying neither one of these teams are going to overtake De La Salle?
I don't think that the Warriors are going to overtake De La Salle.
Well, I think these 2 teams have a better chance of doing that than the Warriors.
Bataska throws up something that he probably shouldn't have. Oh, and Jelani Williams fights for the rebound, can't get it. Tynan Davis outside to Bataska, 15-footer, finally goes. I think Bataska's better when he's farther away from the basket than when he's closer to it.
Well, that was an outstanding sequence for Northgate. They kept the volley alive, and then they kicked it back out and converted.
1:30 left, inside. Ball rolls around on a shot by Johnson, no good, pulled by Koski.
Dan, you can't miss shots like that against this Northgate team. They had the perfect setup, a great pass inside. You've got to make that shot, particularly with, the minutes ticking away here at the end of the first half. They can't give Northgate any momentum going into the locker, and they're going to do that.
From the Caldecott tunnel, but it's short. Avion Burks tries to bring the ball up. It's tipped away by Wong. Kicked on the side to Jason Johnson, 3-pointer, no good. Rebound, Koski.
Well, you said that Pittsburgh doesn't have much 3-point presence in this game. They don't have a lot of rebounding presence either, unless it's Jelani Williams underneath.
And it's hard for Jelani Williams to get rebounds when he's supposed to be out playing on the perimeter at the shooting guard position.
That's exactly right.
40 seconds to go. As you can see it ticking down on the screen there, but there will be another possession for the Pirates, who trail by 6. Oh, and here comes James Moore with a nice steal.
They've got to convert.
Yes, important layup there, and he did get it. So James Moore now with 3 points, 30-26. If they can stop Northgate here from scoring, Pittsburgh will have a shot in the second half, as they're only down by 4 and being down by as many as 11.
Yeah, the way this second quarter started out, certainly you wouldn't have predicted a 4-point game right here in the final seconds.
Yoshioka, who has 14 points, 8 here in the second quarter, as the clock ticks down to 6, now 5. Bataska, short, no good. Rebound to, now there was just way too many Broncos around the ball right there, as number 33, Tynan Davis, scored at the buzzer to give Northgate a 32-26 lead. But if we could see that on a replay, and we can't, there were 3 Broncos underneath and only 1 Pirate.
Well, and that I think that's a case where the Pirates again got a little lazy. At the end of the first quarter they did it, and the end of the second quarter they did it. A lot of guys just standing around, not hustling to get in position to, get a rebound. And, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but Bataska missed one of the few times we've seen Bataska miss a clutch shot.
Amazingly enough, 14 for Yoshioka, 14 for Bataska. They have 28 points, and they would be outscoring Pittsburgh right now combined, just the 2 of them. For Pittsburgh, Jelani Williams has 10. The score at halftime is Northgate 32, Pittsburgh 26. We'll be back at the start of the third quarter after, do we have any announcements on this? After these timeouts.
My dad showed me the difference between collecting coins and saving money. I thought he'd been collecting U.S. savings bonds. But he was really helping to ensure the future. His and mine.
Just because something's old doesn't mean it's lost its value. That's why I gave these guys a place to spend some quality time. I take care of them, just like savings bonds will take care of me.
These books don't just enlighten, they empower. In my family, learning is everything. And with the help of U.S. savings bonds, my children will have their chance to learn, just like I did.
My grandmother started collecting these a long time ago. The music would comfort her and gave her a sense of assurance, security. This one was her favorite. It's where she kept the savings bonds for me.
A lot of guys are less afraid of this glove than they are of this glove. This glove can help your doctor tell if you got prostate cancer, one of the most common cancers among men, especially over 40. With early detection, most guys can beat prostate cancer. So please, get a complete annual checkup and live, man. Why die of fright? Prostate cancer. Real men get it checked. The American Cancer Society.
Welcome back to Friday Night Basketball, a TCI Sports local production.
Very good.
Okay, I had to write that down because Ron Carter threw me a curveball. But a couple of stats and scoring leaders for you here in the first half of a game led by Northgate 32-26. For Northgate, Jason Yoshioka with 14 points, also Tony Bataska with 14. Jarrett Tong and Tynan Davis each scored a basket for the Broncos. Jelani Williams leads the Pirates with 10. Jason Johnson has 4. James Moore and James Adams both with 3. Burks, Malone, and Jason McGee each with 2. It's 32-26. Tim Tyler, take it away.
Well, in this half, Pittsburgh's going to have to step it up just a little bit here. Obviously, they're trailing by 6 points. But, you know, the reason why they're down, Dan, is because they had lapses in their intensity. We saw it at the end of the first quarter. We saw it at the beginning of the second quarter and toward the stretch at the end of the first half. And, you know, they did do a good job of eliminating a lot of the turnovers. Northgate made a lot of turnovers to help them get back into this game.
So here we go. Pirates down by 6, inbounding the ball. They'll be going from right to left. Northgate from left to right. Actually, Pittsburgh will be going from left to right and Northgate from right to left. Anyway, if you can figure that out, you're a better man than I. Here we go, the ball inbound to James Moore. And Moore, who got on the bench early because of a couple of turnovers, is a guy that needs to really run this offense. Northgate's still in that zone. Avion Burks travels.
Now, not a good start for Pittsburgh, and this is what, you know, they can't get into a pattern of doing this.
Yeah, playing right into Northgate's hands with that kind of stuff.
Well, they seem right on the verge of getting into the game and possibly even taking the lead, and then they start to sputter.
Grigsby to Tung back on top. Grigsby, Yoshioka playing the right wing on this sequence. Underneath Bataska, guarded by James Adams. Bataska looking for that turnaround. Drops the ball twice. Only 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Underneath to Irwin. Irwin with a layup, no good. Jelani Williams with the rebound.
And there's a foul.
Foul's on
Northgate. Right. At least it should be. Had they not called it that way, we would have been surprised.
It's Gary Irwin. I probably called him Randy because I used to know a guy named Randy Irwin. Every once in a while when you're doing this stuff, your mind, it like hits a rock or something and zings off to some other point where you once were. And Tim Tyler does that all the time.
Oh, always.
Underneath Malone, and Malone cuts it to 4.
It's because you knew I was about to say your mind is like a rock, Dan. You knew that was going to come out of my mouth, but so you decided to attack first.
Yeah, that's the mark of a good attacker. Grigsby. And one thing about Northgate is they go underneath to Irwin again, and Irwin scores. His first hoop of the night is that Northgate, they'll start looking at the basket from the half-court line. These guys would pay the toll in the Golden Gate Bridge from the Marin side.
Thing of it is, they'll start looking at it from the half-court line, then they'll only get outside the perimeter and they'll start making them.
Avion Burks showing once again that Pittsburgh just doesn't have a lot of inside touch. Outside touch, they do have some inside touch, and that's Hervey Malone with his 6-point, averaging 12.9.
Well, we talked about Malone in the first half a little bit. He's the second leading scorer on this team. He needs to have a big half if they're going to try to overtake Northgate.
Dan Swan is not happy with that play as Bataska throws the ball out of bounds, trying to lead Irwin underneath. 34-30. Pittsburgh needs this hoop to get back in, get them within 2.
Well, so far the first opening minutes of this half has been indicative of this entire ball game. Pittsburgh will come out, make some mistakes. Northgate takes advantage of it, and then Northgate starts to sputter.
Jelani Williams. Oh, and Avion Burke's up in the air, and he's fouled. Jelani Williams has not been able to knock down a 3 tonight. He's open on a number of them and has missed. But Avion Burks came soaring out of that one, got a rebound and fouled on the putback. That's the 3rd personal foul on Jason Yoshioka. That could be very important stat to look at here as we're only 5 minutes, 58 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, it might become even more important if Bataska fouls out because he also has 3.
I think Bataska only had 2. We were talking about that.
Yeah, okay.
They gave it to Yoshioka that time, and I think he has 3, Bataska with 2. But really, the foul problems have been with Northgate in this game.
Well, that's what's keeping Pittsburgh around so far.
Avion Burks sinks the first one. He has 3 now in the game. Looking for his 4th and cutting this lead to 2. 34-31 now.
Yeah, Northgate has really helped this Pittsburgh team hang around so far. I mean, I don't mean to belittle Pittsburgh in any way, but really the reason why Pittsburgh is still, in this game 3 points behind is because Northgate has made several critical mistakes.
The second free throw is no good by Burks. It's 34-31 as Northgate finally gets the ball into the half court. That press by Pittsburgh has been effective as well. Yoshioka with a running one-hander, no good, but a foul on the play.
Well, yeah, you got to give some credit to Pittsburgh in terms of what they've done here to hang with Northgate. If there is a bright spot, it is their defense.
Fouls on number 13, James Moore.
Although you wouldn't have said that in the first quarter when Northgate was just hitting it from all over the court.
Well, they have taken away the outside shot of Yoshioka. That's definitely been a big factor here in their comeback. But he's at the line, and he sinks the first free throw with 15 points now.
This team, Northgate, when you look at it, and I keep hearkening back to the Alaco days, but they just do so many things well. I mean, you could just see they're so fundamentally sound. Free throw shooting, outside shooting, hustling for rebounds. And they're not a big team, but yet they come down with a lot of rebounds, despite their lack of size.
That's James Adams. Kicks it back outside to Burks. Burks, 15-foot pull-up. Bank, no good with his own rebound. Lays it up, no good. James Adams tries for the rebound. Tip to Yoshioka. Here comes Northgate.
Well, Burks would love to have that last putback, another shot at that. Those are the kind of shots that Pittsburgh they've missed intermittently throughout this game. They've missed a shot here that they should have had, and I know about 6 easy baskets they've missed tonight.
That's Jelani Williams after the turnover. They called a jump ball. I don't know about that call.
Oh, Pittsburgh fans certainly aren't happy about that, and they're standing up and yelling at the refs.
Because that looked like a foul from here, clearly, and the referee from all the way on the other side of the court called a jump ball, and it looked like the other referee went along with him, and I don't know, that didn't look like too good a call from my angle, but we'll give him a break. Northgate, though, gets the possession arrow.
Well, that may be that may have to do with the hometown crowd, Dan.
Bataska on the drive, and now they call a foul. That was even worse than that call because he called the foul on the dribble, and then he gave him the shot.
Well, those things seem to happen like that in streaks. Dominic Kelly is going to get a technical here, and he does.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I used to be a ref, but that whole sequence was hideous. I mean, they messed up the whole thing from the start. It should have not been a jump ball. Jelani Williams was clearly fouled on the play, and then they come down on this play. There was a foul, but it wasn't a shooting foul. He fouled him on the floor. His hand was up before he ever made the move to the basket. Then he gives him continuation, the basket, and a foul. And now Pittsburgh, because the coach gets mad, is going to end up in a situation where they're going to have to get a basket, a foul shot, and a technical, and then Northgate gets the ball.
Well, and you hate to see the refs start to decide a game like this because this was, a few minutes ago, this was a 3-point ball game. By the time we're done with this sequence, Northgate will almost have a 10-point lead if they convert their baskets.
That was Bataska's 16th point. And like I said, I'm not railing on the referees. It's a hard thing to do.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that was horrid, though. That was just horrible. So now, and usually when I rail on referees, I only have to worry about the Antioch side here. And now I got the whole county listening to the game. So
your tires are as good as Slash, Dan. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Pittsburgh responds to this whole sequence because, you know, Northgate comes down, they sink these baskets here. We'll see if Pittsburgh either steps up the intensity and fights their way into it, do or die, or just lets completely down.
Well, there's going to be a lot of foul shots here. I can tell you that. Bataska's going to get his foul shot. He made the basket. By the way, that foul was on James Adams. It was his first personal. This could really put Pittsburgh behind the 8-ball. Bataska misses the free throw. Now Yoshioka will get 2 foul shots on the technical, and then Northgate will get the ball. So it could be a 9-point Bronco lead with 4:42 to go in the third quarter by the time we get through with all this. Yoshioka hits the first. He has 17 points, 3 free throws here in the second half, following the 14-point performance in the first half.
Yoshioka, to me, has the best touch on his team from what I've seen. Just a really nice touch.
And now 18 points, and now Northgate's ball. So it's 40-31, and that whole sequence could put Pittsburgh just about out of this game early in the third quarter.
Well, again, it depends on how Pittsburgh responds. If they come out flat and they let it affect them, yes, it is over, because Northgate certainly isn't going to turn down the intensity on their end. This may be a break for Pittsburgh right here.
I don't know if that was a makeup call, but it looked like Jason Yoshioka had barely stumbled, and they called traveling, so I don't know.
Well, the refs have a lot of making up to do after that.
I think they'll be making up for the rest of the season. Northgate looked like they almost fallen back into that man as number 13, James Moore, hits. He has 5. Pittsburgh still with the full court press.
Well, one of the things we're seeing, Dan, is every time we're about ready to count Pittsburgh out, they somehow make a couple of key baskets and somehow stay in it.
They've come back from the dead more than Kiss. All of us mid-30 to early 40-something people up here like that joke.
Some people never thought Kiss were really alive, so...
Well, I'm numbered in the few that do, so... Number 33 is Jason Johnson. He's in for Adams.
Oh, my son loves your musical taste.
Yeah, I know. Your kid
Black Sabbath, Deep Purple.
He's got a clue. I don't know about his dad, though. Underneath, and the ball is tipped away, and here comes Pittsburgh. Avion Burks running the offense. Kick to Moore, 15-footer. Moore wasn't set for that, but Jelani Williams, though, he just kind of tipped it over Yoshioka's head like he was just joking with him as Hervey Malone hits the first 3-pointer of the night for the Pirates.
Well, and we said earlier we said Hervey's the guy that is their main 3-point shooter. He has 19 on the year. Now he has 20. Here's another turnover.
Burks to Jelani Williams. Jelani, 2-footer, rolls. Oh, no, but a foul. And who is that foul on?
I can't tell from here. It might even be another makeup call, but whatever the case is, Pittsburgh's going to get a chance to shoot from the line here.
I don't know what that was. I think they called a foul on, it was either on Bataska or Irwin. It was actually on Gary Irwin. They called him for a clear out on the rebound as a Pittsburgh player that I could not identify went flying through the lane. Hervey Malone.
Well, that's a foul. That is a definite foul. And it's a foul that Jelani didn't look like he appreciated.
Well, that was Hervey Malone, and I'm
sorry, Hervey. That's right.
This game is starting to get a little bit out of hand. That's the 14th foul on the Broncos here. 3:33 to go in the third quarter. 40-36 Northgate. Could be setting us up for an exciting ending, which is something we always like to see here on Friday night, whether it's football or basketball. Jelani Williams, he eyed a 3, gave it back to Moore. Moore at the top. Moore will take that. Moore misses, but a nice rebound by Jason Johnson. Underneath to Avion Burks. Avion inside in the paint,
and he gets the foul.
Oh my, Avion Burks with the thing about Pittsburgh is you don't know what to expect. You got big guys shooting threes and little guys inside in the paint.
Well, Burks showed a nice touch on that too. And he had 2 guys standing in his way. He managed to suspend himself in the air long enough because he swatted at his hand. He had his wrist getting swatted at. And then he had a nice touch following the slap on the wrist.
So it's 40-38, and Avion Burks will be at the line to cut it to 1. And as you said, every time we count these guys out, they come right back. And that's a mark of a good team.
It sure is.
And I think Coach Dominic Kelly knows that he put his team a little bit behind the 8 ball there, but I think he had to do it. I think he had to, because it looked like, and in a way, if you notice, since then, Pittsburgh's gotten every call. And there's been some questionable calls on the Broncos since then, so maybe he had to, you know, step up and show the officials that he wasn't going to deal with them being that incompetent.
I don't care if you're if you got the home crowd looking in on you or not, you guys have got to call it fairly, fair and square, and Dominic put himself out on the line, got the tee, but he got much more than that following the technical.
Derek Dominicelli.
Derek Dominicelli. What
not
did I
Dominic,
say, Dominic?
And not Kelly. And not just Derek, but Derek Dominicelli.
Well, I haven't done Kelly yet, but I'm sure I will before the broadcast is over. As Dan alluded to, I'm not going to apologize for this. This is only the second ball game I've seen all year.
Pittsburgh has a bigger bench than Purdue. But anyway, maybe on Burks with the free throw after the made basket. It's up and looks short, and it was Bataska with the rebound.
Just a little.
Just a bit short. That was the 3rd foul on Bataska. It was called on him, so you have 3 on Yoshioka and 3 on Bataska, as there's a foul on James Moore. Only the 4th team foul, though, so Northgate will inbound.
Well, I saw Jelani Williams come over to Moore and tell him to, you know, okay, settle down. I think the Pirates even agree that that one was a foul. Over and back.
Yeah, that was not a good play by Northgate, as Northgate has kind of lost its composure a bit. You know, one thing about Jelani Williams, after having seen him play now, is I'm kind of wondering, you know, there is a rule, though, you know, after a foul, I always thought you could come back in the half court, and Dan Swan is making that point right now. But something about Williams, just by watching him, you can't really get a good feel for what his game is. Is he an outside shooter? Is he an inside guy? I've seen and read stories about him that pretty much, you know, tell you that, oh, the 4th on Bataska, oh my.
Well, I was going to just bring Bataska into this conversation. Bataska, if you look at him for Northgate, you really don't know what his role is sometimes.
Exactly.
He hits him from the outside. Sometimes he's a presence down low. He moves around. They move him around a lot.
Dominic Kelly told me before the game that Jelani Williams had to handle the ball in the De La Salle game because the De La Salle defenders were wearing out his guards. So he can handle the ball, he can shoot. Unfortunately, tonight he's not having a very good shooting game, but he also has a very nice move to the basket and that short little hop off the drive as Pittsburgh gets the ball in bounds. Looking to tie. 2:50 to go, 3rd quarter. 40-38 Northgate. Dan Wall, Tim Tyler, cast 1,000s and even 1,000 more in the gym tonight here at Walnut Creek. Hervey Malone. A 3, no good. Oh, James Moore comes. The guards on Pittsburgh just flying. Oh, that was a travel. That was a travel.
That was a definite travel.
The minute he bounced on the floor, it's a travel, even though it was a great play.
No, it was hustle, but it was traveling. But I want to point out James Moore on that up at the top of the key there. He showed great patience. He had a little bit of space in between him and the defender, but he decided to try to work the ball and pass it around. I think that was great ball handling by James Moore. Great decision making.
An alley-oop to Jelani Williams, and the gym has just exploded here. I think Northgate's even applauding that play.
And it ties the game.
Tied at 40. What a play on the inbounds for Pittsburgh, who've come back from a 40-31 deficit.
Northgate may want to call a timeout here because, as you stated a few minutes earlier, they look like they're starting to lose their composure, Dan.
I think a timeout here might be a good call. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Yoshioka throws outside, now over in the corner to Jarrett Tung. Back on top to Yoshioka to Grigsby.
Well, that slam dunk seems to have energized Pittsburgh because their defenders are all over Northgate.
Like a reach foul there on James Moore. I'll tell you the thing about Pittsburgh after watching them here. I don't know what they do in the summer. It doesn't look like they practice their shot a lot, but they're doing some jumping drills because every guy on this team can fly. And I mean, that's been a trademark of Pittsburgh athleticism and that kind of play, but the fact is even their guards are up getting rebounds up near the rim. And Jelani Williams, I mean, he's only about 6'4", but he can go up above the rim. And there's a foul on Northgate.
Well, you know, I was just about ready to point out before they called that foul on Northgate that previous foul on James Moore was almost critical. You know, they had the clock shot almost all the way down for Northgate. And then they fouled him and gave him 35 more seconds.
3 on Grigsby, 3 on Irwin, 3 on Yoshioka, 4 on Bataska. Northgate in definite foul trouble here. whereas Pittsburgh, I don't believe, has any of their major players in that kind of foul trouble, as at the line is number 33, Jason Johnson. Tie score, 40-40 here with 1:44 to go. I have a feeling the fourth quarter is going to rock.
Derek Dominichelli, in fact, was just talking to Moore right there and probably saying, hey, look, you got to use your head. You got to be smart in these instances.
I think Moore has 3 fouls as the free throw is missed. And good block out there by Matt Koski to get the rebound and get the ball over to Yoshioka.
Yeah, he took Jelani Williams completely out of that play.
Northgate hasn't scored in a long time. Neither is Tim Tyler. Sorry, that was just too
My
easy,
wife's
folks.
listening now because it goes into Walnut Creek, so I hope you're happy.
Oh, that was goaltending. That's a good call. That's a good call. That's a good call. Don't argue that one, guys, because that ball was in the cylinder. It looked like it was going to fall, but someone got up there. I don't know whose hand was up there, but that was offensive goaltending, and the score remains 40-40. But I'm telling you, things are really heating up here, Tim. This is a lot of fun now.
Oh, it's outstanding.
See, the thing is, Ron Carter's got to let me pick the games that we schedule. That's the whole thing. He wanted to do the Antioch Clayton Valley girls tonight is what he wanted to do. Oh, Jelani Williams with a steal. It's knocked back to Yoshioka.
Wide open.
Three-pointer, no good, long, and the rebound to Tynan Davis. He's fouled.
That's a good foul, though. You know, you've got a tie game here. I think that's one where you got to get physical. You can't just let them go up uncontested. You're going to get some mail on that last remark, by the way, on the Antioch Clayton girls game.
Oh, it's nothing about the Antioch Clayton girls. I'm just saying that, you know, you look at the schedule, and this is probably the game you're going to have to do.
I'm teasing. But you're still going to get some mail.
Actually, the Clayton girls are good. Clayton girls are very, very good. Very good team.
Don't try to back out of it now.
I'm not backing out of nothing. I saw them play 2 weeks ago. They have a good team. Matter of fact, they beat El Camino in that game. Tynan Davis hits both free throws. Antioch is in what it could be mildly called a rebuilding year.
Mildly.
The girls anyway, but Antioch basketball.
The boys too.
Yeah, they've been in rebuilding years for a long time. Jelani Williams, 3, long. Oh, that looked like a foul, but they didn't call it. Hervey Malone, he shoots a 3. That looks
good. And that's it.
It is. Hervey Malone gives Pittsburgh their first lead. I don't think Pittsburgh's been ahead in this game.
They haven't.
Now I start to see, you're talking about Hervey Malone having hit 19 three-point shots. Yeah, he can shoot a 3.
Well, you wonder why he didn't attempt it earlier.
And
unless they were instructed. Oh, there's a steal.
Oh, here's a steal. Jason Johnson. Oh, Jason Johnson flying through the air. Pittsburgh is going absolutely ballistic here in Walnut Creek. Holy mackerel.
I'm surprised Dan Swan doesn't call a timeout and get them settled down.
Well, there's only 12 seconds to go.
Well, yeah, but you know, you could still, one more turnover here.
Yoshioka with a beautiful move. He has 20 points in this game. 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Oh, and the ball's thrown out of bounds. And there's only .1 left, so it looks like we're going to end this one, folks, 45-44. Pittsburgh in the lead, and I have a feeling the fourth quarter is just going to be unbelievable. There's the buzzer, and that looks like it, oh, well, a little long.
Had a chance.
Tim, you're going to talk while I get the stats up to date for us.
Okay, you go ahead and get the stats up to date, but folks, I think you're seeing a terrific ball game here. Certainly much better than the game we saw last week. And at the beginning of this game, the way Northgate came out on offense, it didn't look like Pittsburgh had an answer for them. Well, they started attacking them. They're more aggressive. They're playing the type of defense that Northgate usually plays. And the other thing that Pittsburgh's doing offensively is they're being a little more patient, passing the ball around. They're starting to shoot from the outside. So they're stretching the Northgate defense here. And,
Jason Yoshioka with 20 points. Tony Bataska with 16. However, as we mentioned, both in foul trouble. Yoshioka with 3, Bataska with 4 on the bench currently. But amazingly enough, again, only 5 players have scored for Northgate. I mean, it's just incredible. Those guys have scored 36 of their 44 points.
Yeah, and what got Pittsburgh over the hump in this game is Hervey Malone's outside shooting. Although the rest of the team hasn't done a bad job. You know, the thing is, Dan, Pittsburgh has missed some key, critical, easy shots along the way. They've missed, by my count, you know, 3 or 4 easy baskets.
By the way, Jelani Williams has 12. Hervey Malone now with 12, and he averages 12.9, so right at his average. But they're holding Jelani Williams 6 under his average at the current time. Back for the fourth quarter, 45-44 Pittsburgh. Malone, Williams, James Moore, Jason Johnson, and Avion Burks on the floor for the Pirates. Yoshioka as a shot goes up from Williams. And Jelani Williams, that's one thing. He has not hit an outside shot tonight. Hervey Malone has, though, and he tries to, oh, nice pass. Now
nice
there's Jelani. There's Jelani's range. Jelani Williams, though, can't get the rebound. It's Tung, Wong, Tynan Davis, Matt Koski, and Yoshioka out on the floor for the Broncos right now as they try to get deep into this quarter close where they can bring back some of their players who are in foul trouble.
Well, Jelani had a bad sequence on that one. You know, missed 2 shots, and the second one was rather easy, and he just couldn't convert. And Northgate's trying to find a way to get somebody open on offense. The Pittsburgh defenders are all over their ball handlers.
Oh, and there's a turnover. Hervey Malone, and now he gets it back. Throws a long down-court pass. It's tipped out of bounds. Jelani Williams saw another spectacular dunk opportunity that kind of went by the wayside there.
Yeah, but Yoshioka did an excellent job of breaking that pass up, because that was going to be an easy 2 points if that pass made it into its intended hands.
We played a minute with no score here in the fourth quarter. 45-44 Pittsburgh. We'll talk about some of the upcoming broadcasts on the next timeout we get here. I don't know if it'll be an advertiser's timeout because I don't know if we have any advertisers. Williams spins, throws up a 10-footer, no good, but Avion Burks, who has really come alive here in the second half, scoring 5 of his 7 points, tips in the rebound as Bataska gets ready to come back in the game with 4 fouls.
Oh, that looked clean.
Jelani Williams, they must have called him with a hand to the body as Tynan Davis went in on that shot.
But you know what Burks is doing, Dan? He's crashing the boards. He's hustling to get in position for rebounds and for putbacks. He's not standing around like a statue. And I told you in the first half, that's what Pittsburgh has to do as a team to get back into this.
2-shot foul, second personal on Williams, as Tynan Davis scores his 5th point of the night. And Tynan Davis, who's a sub and only played maybe 7 or 8 minutes in this game, has scored 5 points. Aside from Yoshioka and Bataska, the 3rd high scorer here for the Northgate Broncos tonight.
And Bataska just checked in, gave him a little height down low here.
47-46, Tynan Davis hits both free throws.
And a little offense now.
Inside, Malone, 10-footer, good. Hervey Malone with 14 points, high scorer for Pittsburgh here, and he's just a sophomore.
Now he's scoring from all over now.
Pittsburgh with a good future with him in it, I'll tell you that right now. He looks like he could fill out that body a little bit more.
Sure does, and grow a couple more inches.
Yeah, he could be real dangerous. Tynan Davis tries to drive. That's on Jelani Williams. That's his 3rd personal, so now Williams in foul trouble.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose Jelani. I know Jelani's had kind of an inconsistent game tonight, but you really want him in the game when it's crunch time.
Pittsburgh calls timeout. It looked like Williams was coming over to the coach saying, "I'm tired," and I don't think he wants to take him out of the game. So he said, let's use a timeout. So we'll tell you about some of the upcoming broadcasts you'll see on TCI. Next week we'll be in Antioch to bring you De La Salle in Antioch. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because you're probably going to say I'm going to get letters on it if I say anything more.
Hey, Dan, we're going to get letters on
probably. We'll take a week off because on February 12th I'll be in Las Vegas. Thank you very much.
Losing your...
I don't gamble. I'll be at a hockey game. But anyway, I'll find hockey in any city. You just send me to one.
You'll notice, for those first-time listeners, you will hear the word hockey at least one time from Dan Wall's mouth.
Yes,
and you only hear Ron Carter one time from your mouth. Now that we had that rule imposed on us.
I don't even want to advertise Ron Carter over on this side of the hill.
Ron Carter. we were making him mad. He said, guys, you can only mention my name once during the broadcast.
He's our producer some nights and director some nights, and always the main man behind these broadcasts. On the 19th, though, we'll be back here at Northgate for Deer Valley, who's had a surprising year, even though they've lost 3 straight games and fallen to 5-3. For a team that's only in its 2nd varsity season, doing an excellent job.
Outstanding job.
And then on the 26th, this exact same game, same setup, different place over in Pittsburgh at the Pirate Gymnasium on the 26th, and that'll round out the season as then we go into our long hibernation getting ready for Friday Night Football. And I have a soft spot in my heart for Friday Night Football. That's a lot of fun. I like doing basketball, but the football stuff is a lot of fun, especially when you get games like we had last year that were exciting to call, especially that Deer Valley Antioch game. For those of you on the other side of the hill that didn't see that one, you would have liked to have.
Oh, the best football game I've ever seen. High school football game.
That was short, but they get the rebound there. That's Koski inside. Tynan Davis misses after making 4 free throws. Davis drives on Williams, and Williams knows he can't play defense. Crashes the boards. Bataska gets the rebound, and they call a foul on Jason Johnson. That looked like ball. See, one of the problems is Jelani Williams is one of those guys now. You can tell he's got the smarts to know he can't foul, but that also puts you at a disadvantage because you're not playing defense.
That's exactly right. You've got to back off, but at the same time, you can't be aggressive and go up for every rebound and go over some guy's back and play aggressively.
So Bataska returns to the line. He makes the first free throw. Tony Bataska now with 17 points in the game.
And that poses a matchup problem now because you got Bataska down there, and Jelani Williams, I think, is one of the few guys on this team that can, defend Bataska.
Oh, great rebound from Tynan Davis. He puts it in for the tie. Tynan Davis with 8 points goes up and gets the rebound after Jelani Williams looked like he mistimed his jump on that play. So it's tied at 49, 5:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Excellent game here tonight from Northgate. If you're watching the rebroadcast of the Bay TV game, you should turn it off and watch ours. That's all I have to say.
Well, both teams here, right when they seem like their backs are against the wall, they start to respond.
Jelani Williams drives down, throws up a 15-footer from the right baseline. It's no good.
Terrific defense. Yep. Had the ball slapped out of his hands on that play.
Wong pulled the rebound. Yoshioka leads the offense. Pittsburgh's still playing that tough man.
Yeah, the team that hustles all the way to the end is just going to win this game. I don't know which team is better. You're inclined to say Northgate may be a little stronger, but I'm telling you that the team that just can endure this contest all the way to the end and still hustle is going to pull this game out.
Bataska with a 3. He has 20 in the game.
Well, if Bataska comes alive from the outside, Pittsburgh has a real problem.
And we will not count Pittsburgh out yet because every time we've mentioned it, as that ball's dribbled out of bounds by Jelani Williams as Arturo Garcia gets ready to check back in. But every time we've counted them out, they have come back. Garcia in for more.
Well, I don't know if Pittsburgh, it took so much energy for them to get back into this game and even take the lead. They look a little winded right now.
And Pittsburgh comes back in that press.
Well, Yoshioka looked like he shoved off of Garcia, and they didn't see that.
And Garcia's trying to pitch him on the fact that he was being elbowed as he tried to get into defensive position, but they called a foul on Garcia. And I think at this point in the game, Garcia, who's played minimal minutes, is not going to get a call over Bataska, who has 4 fouls and has scored 20 points.
I think you're
Actually,
right.
it's on Yoshioka.
On Yoshioka, correct. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think Garcia is going to get that call.
So Yoshioka looking for his 21st point of the night, and he hits it.
Well, this is gut check time for Pittsburgh. The last time they had a gut check was on that poor sequence of officiating, and they came back strong. In fact, they came back so strong they took the lead.
Yoshioka misses for the first time tonight as that ball is saved and thrown out of bounds by Tynan Davis. Tynan Davis is a very, very good guy to have coming off your bench.
Well, the Northgate crowd gave Tynan Davis a nice hand there for that hustling play.
They try to force that ball inside to Malone.
Bad decision.
Oh, they gave it back to him.
Horrible call. Dan Swan's upset, and rightfully so. That was a horrible call, Dan.
Well, now that you've said it, so we can both get letters.
Good. I'll even give them my address. Well, I won't go that far.
No, don't go that far. They'll send a bomb.
Unabomber.
Oh, what was that? Now, Jelani Williams attempting the alley-oop.
Williams could be hurt.
Yeah, I think he came down wrong.
Slow getting up.
He looks okay. They tried that backdoor alley-oop again, and that time the pass was off, and Jelani Williams couldn't do anything with it, but it's tipped out of bounds, so Pittsburgh gets possession.
It looks like Pittsburgh's trying to force things a little bit here, Dan. When they were coming back and getting back into this ballgame, they were a little more patient.
On a foul on Davis. Hervey Malone is upset because he's wide open at the three-point stripe. He's hit 2 3-pointers here in the second half, and Garcia didn't get him the ball. Instead going to Burks in the corner, but that is the 8th team foul on Northgate, so it's a 1-on-1 situation. Actually, Pittsburgh, who only had a couple of fouls, is now up to 10 team fouls. The reason I don't know that is because the cameras were right in the way of the 10, and I can't see it very well. Burks misses the free throw. And see, once again, Jelani Williams, who has 3 fouls, doesn't really attempt to go after that ball because he doesn't want to get called for a cheap foul and have 4.
Well, I think when you get within the final 3 minutes, you have to go after whether you get fouled or not. And look at that wide open feed back down low.
Backdoor pass to Koski from Yoshioka. Foul by Avion Davion Burks and James Moore is going to come back into the game for Pittsburgh.
And not a moment too soon, and nothing against Garcia, but Moore, after making a couple of ill-advised fouls, really started to settle down, distributed the ball extremely well, and I think he needs to get back in there.
4-point Bronco lead with 4 minutes to go, actually 3:59, as that one rattles around and in. Koski, Matt Koski, who was in double figures last week at Deer Valley with his first point of the night. James Adams and Moore back in the game for Pittsburgh.
Well, I'll tell you that the people who have been getting it done for Northgate here are Tynan Davis and Matt Koski. After this shot, I'll finish that thought. Bataska hit a crucial three-pointer from the baseline corner. And when you get guys like Koski and Tynan Davis really stepping it up, then things are going your way. And no knock on those players. Those just aren't the go-to guys for Northgate.
Hervey Malone, and that's long.
Well, maybe we know why they didn't want to pass it to Hervey earlier.
Oh, but a good steal by Jelani Williams. Here's Burks. Burks to Moore. Moore lays it in. Oh, it rolls off, and here's James Adams. Can't get the rebound. Looked like a foul. They didn't call it. Malone to Jelani Williams from deep. That's short. But Burks once again inside, pulled by Bataska. Pittsburgh looks out of sync right now.
They sure do.
They had it going for a while, and now they're back to how they looked in the second quarter.
And Jelani's really cold right now. I mean, to be quite honest, I said that, they really need him in here down the stretch, and they do. But they need him to produce. They really need Jelani to step it up.
It's 54-49, 3:11 to go. Yoshioka with 21 and Bataska with 20, leading Northgate in a great performance from those two star players.
Yeah, I don't know what Jelani's percentage is from the floor, but I can guarantee if he at least made 2 or 3 of these shots, we have, what, a 1-point game either way?
Yoshioka spins and throws a pass to Bataska. Bataska.
And it goes.
Oh, my. There's another one. There is no way you can call continuation on these fouls. The shots aren't even off when the guy gets fouled.
Well, he probably felt there was a foul there because he was off balance when he put it up in the air. And maybe he thought he was off balance because there was some contact.
4th foul on Avion Burks, and Pittsburgh has really lost it here in the last couple of minutes. They had a lead of 3 just at the 6-minute point, and now with 3 minutes to play, they trail by 8, 57-49.
And Dan, we would say that's a backbreaker, that's a stake in the heart, but so far Pittsburgh's shown a lot of resiliency. They've been managing to rise from the dead every time.
Jelani Williams, 10-footer, no good. Bataska battling for that rebound. Williams gets it, though. He puts it up, and it's good.
Well, they needed that basket, Dan. If they came away empty on that one, then I would say this game was just about over. They really needed that shot there.
It's actually a 6-point lead. That was at 8. Now it's to 6, 57-51. Timeout for Northgate. No, the thing, like I said, I'm not even ripping on. He has the ref that we're picking on. I don't know exactly his name, but he just seems to miss that one call.
Yeah.
The continuation call, he's got the wrong idea because, and I mean, in the NBA, you ever watch the NBA? Sometimes the calls are a lot different. If a guy gets fouled and takes 18 steps, they give him continuation. But that's not how it's supposed to be at this level of play. You're supposed to be in the act of shooting. And Bataska was fouled while he was falling away before he even let the ball go.
Well, I think the other thing, Dan, is that they're not getting in position to make real good calls. The traveling call, nobody got over there on the loose ball and got a real good look at it. We saw the traveling clearly on the loose ball. I think that was in the 3rd quarter or 1st half. They missed that one. The jump ball was clearly, I didn't see any ref right there to make an accurate call. It was clearly, should have been a jump ball.
Yeah, but we all make mistakes. We've made them announcing, the players have made them playing, the officials have made them reffing, and I'm sure someone will drive really bad on the way home.
Sounds like a line out of Airplane.
Thank you. 57-51, 2:32 to go here. Our first, I don't even know what to call it. I just call it the Over the Hill broadcast because it's the first time I drove over Kirker Pass to do a broadcast. Tynan Davis still in the game. Super sub for the Broncos here tonight. Northgate's going to try to work as much time off the clock as they can. Bataska out high. Adams tries to force the foul, doesn't. Bataska on the drive, and he scores. Tony Bataska has 25 points in the game tonight.
He's just super. He's, again, if you're trying to come up with a defensive plan to stop them, where do you start?
Jelani Williams with his 16th point, 59-53. Pittsburgh still with a chance, but they have to stop Northgate on one of these next possessions. Oh, that's a jump ball. That's a jump ball, and if it's Pittsburgh's possession, now it's Northgate. See, Pittsburgh needs a break, and they didn't get it there. They forced the turnover, or could have forced a turnover, as Arturo Garcia is going to come back into the game.
You know, I coached against Tony Bataska's father a couple weeks ago in CYO basketball. He introduced himself to me at halftime here. I had no idea Tony Bataska was his son.
I think you've coached against every guy in the Northgate team. Minute 40 to go. Still 20 seconds on the shot clock. But Bataska, he don't care. He sees the basket. He wants a shot. I like that, though. Never met a shot clock I didn't like.
You've never met a shot you like, Dan.
I've met a lot of shots.
You've drank a lot of shots.
Thank you. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Yoshioka to Bataska. Oh, but it's short. Tip, no good. Oh, but they can't get the rebound, and now a foul on Garcia.
And they're waving
out
the
of
shot
position
off.
Underneath. And Tynan Davis had gotten position on Garcia, and now they're going to go to the line for 2 shots in a bonus situation after the 10th team foul.
Well, time's becoming a factor now, Dan. You know, Pittsburgh worked so hard to get back into this game, and now the other opponent that they're facing, to sound cliche, is the clock.
Tynan Davis now looking for his 10th point of the night. He has 9. But Bataska with 25 and Yoshioka with 21 have just played outstanding games. Pittsburgh, of course, is led by Jelani Williams with 16 and Hervey Malone with 14.
But you know, who knows how this game would have turned out? And I'm not saying it's over yet, but who knows how this game would have turned out if Jelani had had one of his better nights. He was just off tonight, and that happens. Now, I think if Jelani plays one of his usual productive ball games, this is going to be decided right down to the end, and it still could, although they have a tall order. You're in the Northgate gym. You got a minute 18 left. You're staring at an 8-point deficit. That's a tall order.
61-53. Minute 18 to go. We'll be back here in 3 weeks to look at Northgate and Deer Valley, as we'd seen them last week, and then kind of tried to do that this year so we could get to know the teams a little bit better. Because it's kind of hard to go out and scout a high school basketball team and then learn 16 names 5 minutes before the broadcast.
Well, especially when you have a full-time job that you get paid for.
Tim Tyler hasn't even figured out half of Northgate's roster, and it's 4 quarters into the game.
And that's on top of seeing him last week.
Pittsburgh nearly called for a delay there as the ball was placed on the ground for him. Oh, Moore almost traveled. Back to Moore. Moore, 15-footer, no good, short. Oh, but a nice rebound there by Adams. Adams puts it back up, no good. Bataska's got to have close to 10 rebounds, and there's a foul by Hervey Malone.
Well, that was that foul was on purpose, and that's what we're going to see a lot of down the stretch here. But there is just no real simple answer for Tony Bataska. I mean, you can't block him out. You can't defend him when he's coming down on offense. The guy is just amazing. You know, I said he was kind of he reminded me of a Jim Croy, a guy who played here a few years ago, big guy. But Bataska's quicker.
Rick Croy.
No, Rick was his brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd say I did get that one. I know the old Northgate players. I just don't know the new ones.
Okay.
No, Ricky was a good three-point shooter. Jim was a big guy inside.
Yoshioka misses the first free throw, and that's rarity for him tonight. He sinks the second. He has 22 points now in the game. 9-point lead. Minute to go. Moore picks the ball up in midcourt, throws a pass to Williams. Williams, right side, dribble drive, pulls it back out, tries to come up around the top of the key to Burks. Down low, Malone shoots a 3. Good. Hervey Malone has 17 points in this game now.
You're going to see a quick foul here. Yep.
Quick foul, 6-point game. Pittsburgh, now see, that's what's weird about it. Every once in a while, Pittsburgh goes through this kind of lull where they don't look like they know what they're doing. Then they run an offensive set like that where boom, 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 pass, Hervey Malone, 3, good.
And quite frankly, the Northgate defense was pretty good on that last sequence. They were up on everybody. They were in their face. They just swung the ball quick enough to Malone, and Malone got the shot off in time.
Yoshioka, not the guy you want to foul in these situations. But he misses another one. That's 3 misses now for him.
Well, there's that rim you're talking about.
After 6, I'm telling you, these are weird rims. Weird rims. Makes the second. 23 for Yoshioka. 63-56. Once again, Moore lets it come almost all the way to half court before he picks it up.
Malone's wide open in the corner. Oh, and they had Malone wide open in the baseline corner. Not one person was paying attention to Malone. And that could be the ball game, Dan.
Arturo Garcia checks in. Also, Michael Moore. And I don't know if he's any relation to James Moore, but James Moore just went out and Michael Moore just went in. And that's not the fighter, by the way. Or pronounced like the fighter, but Moore. A foul there by Michael Moore. And now both of the players, I hate to say it, but I think Michael Moore was being used for the fact that he only doesn't have any fouls right now. And he didn't want Avion Burks or Moore, who both have 4, to be in the game to foul.
We'll see who gets the most letters on Monday.
I don't know why there would be a letter on that one. Shouldn't be a letter. That's just a fact of life.
Okay.
Shouldn't be any letter from the Moores. That just is exactly why Michael went in the game. I hate to tell you. It has nothing to do with his playing ability, how nice a guy he is, or how he shoots. He went in the game because he needed to commit a foul because all the other guys have 4.
And you're absolutely right.
Thank you. Koski, only 2 points tonight for Koski, but now he has 3 as he hits 3 free throws there. Excuse me, 2 free throws. 65-56, and a foul by Tynan Davis. And Dan Swan is asking why. Which is probably a good question at this point. With 37 seconds, why to stop the clock?
I was going to say that too. With 37 seconds and you want to get out of here with a win, you're going to ask, why are you calling our guys for fouls? We want to go home.
This is an interesting rule they implemented in high school this year. You have to wait till after the second free throw. You have to wait till after the second free throw. Now, for some reason, the ref's letting him in now. Garcia is going to go for the shooter, which is James Moore, who has 4 personals. Michael Moore back in for Avion Burks, who has 4 personals. But they have a rule now where you cannot come into the game until the ref lets you in after the first foul shot. It's supposed to save time. I haven't seen how it does yet, but anyway.
Or maybe the ref wants to go home, too.
James Moore with his 6th point of the night, 65-57. Number 11 is William Posada. Moore hits the second.
You know, I would say Pittsburgh has a chance to come back, but, you know, the problem is Northgate has always been a great free throw shooting team, at least in the last 10 years. They must make, you know, and this is just a ballpark estimate, they must make about 80% of their free throw shots as a team, or more.
And Michael Moore, who has committed more fouls per second than any player in history so far. He fouls good, though. I noticed that. That was a good foul.
Well, and that's what they wanted him to do, so he did his job. And we'll see if Koski can do his job and sink a couple here and make the fans head for an early exit.
65-58, 36 seconds to go, but the last minute has been played in what seems like about an hour. Koski again with a free throw. 4 points for Matt tonight.
Yeah, as we close down here, you really got to credit Pittsburgh, though. I've never seen a team look quite as dead in the opening minutes, then look dead toward the end of the first half, then look dead coming out in the second half, and yet they still made a ball game out of this.
Yeah, but Northgate pulling away now with a 9-point lead. Jelani Williams eyeing a 3, throws up a running 2 that's good. Jelani Williams now with 18 at his average. Pittsburgh calls timeout, 67-60.
And
so,
even,
yeah, I've seen weirder things happen. I was at the Oakland Coliseum once. The Warriors were up by 5 with 8 seconds to go, lost 106-105.
Well, again, I think the problem that the Pirates have, they're going to have to keep putting Northgate on the line. I just don't see Northgate missing a whole bunch of foul shots down the stretch. The free throw shooting has been something that's been, you know, really stressed and emphasized in this Northgate program for the last decade. That, ball handling, you know, good ball control, use of the clock, and outside shooting.
29 seconds to go here still.
But I have to tell you, I like the job that Derek's done with this Pittsburgh team. They look like they're much more disciplined than in years past. No knock against Curtis Atkinson either. He had some fine teams, but they really seem to play a smart ball game. I mean, they make some mental, physical errors here and there, but really, I think strategically they look like a disciplined ball team.
And Dan Swan has done an outstanding job for the Broncos as well.
Oh, yeah, he had some big shoes to fill, too.
He came in with in the last week having to play Deer Valley, who at the time only had 1 loss. Pittsburgh only has 1 loss, and if he wins this game, he'll beat 2 of the top teams in the BVAL in the span of a week. As they move our cameraman out of the way. Can you believe we're actually interfering in the game here? I cannot believe it. Wasn't Ron Carter, though.
Oh! This is interesting.
Koski, and here comes, it's the charge of the Wild. This is the defensive team, Garcia, Posada, and Moore. They're out. Here comes the offensive charge of Burks, Moore, and I don't know if he had Jelani Williams
football.
or Adams.
It's like you have your offensive unit and your defensive unit.
Pittsburgh needs a mirror. Jelani Williams from way downtown, Walnut Creek, as Adams gets a rebound, puts it up and in. 5-point lead.
You're right. You have seen stranger things happen, but now they're going to run some time off.
The only problem is you don't want Jelani Williams fouling. He has 4 now. 67-62, and of course they foul Yoshioka, who's pretty much about an 80% foul shooter. So,
well, this is the problem. This is the problem. And you know, look at that, Jelani. I think he shows a lot of class out there. Gave, I believe it was Avian Burks, a nice hug as they walked down there. I think Jelani is all class. Remember when he went over and talked to James Moore?
Tim Tyler, you're all class too. Although I heard you never went to class. That's another story for another time, though.
You've got a lot of those stories. I mean, would you hire a private eye to check out my background?
24 for Yoshioka. Bataska has 25, so they both have 25 now. I'm running out of space on my score sheet. Jelani Williams looking for a 3. He's going to get it, and he's going to hit it. It's 69-65, but only 4 seconds to go in the game. And a foul. This time that foul is on Hervey Malone with 1.6 to go. So it looks like even despite their best efforts, the Pirates are going to fall a little short here tonight on TCI Friday Night Basketball.
Well, it was a good strategy by the Pirates to try to get back into it. I'm impressed with both teams. I think both teams showed a lot of character. You know, Northgate, there was a little bit, they had a little period there where they lost their poise and they rebounded.
Yoshioka looking for, it's got to be close to some sort of career high for him. 26 points now for Jason Yoshioka. We'll see him again 2 more times this year, and that's good because I really enjoy watching this Northgate team play.
I agree.
And we're going to see Pittsburgh again, and they're a lot of fun. Yoshioka hits the second, 27 for him. The ball's rolled into Jelani Williams. Jelani with 21, Jelani with 21. That's the end of the game. The final score here tonight, Northgate 71, Pittsburgh 65. Tim, your final comments while I add up the stats.
Well, my final comments are that neither team gave up. They looked sloppy at times, but they also demonstrated why they're 2 of the better teams in the BVAL. They can hurt you in so many ways. Both defenses looking really quick out there, and they played good defense when they absolutely had to. I think this